Hello, everyone. I am here with Judy Baker, the book marketing mentor. And we have had a heck of a time managing to get together from I don't know what all, super confusing stuff, but we are here at last. So I am so thrilled to have Judy on. I met her at a networking event and I said, wait, you do book marketing? I must hear more. And then she told me about a one-page book marketing plan. And I said, that sounds incredible. So tell us all about yourself, Judy.
Okay. Well, I published my first book at 16 and I was kind of a rebel. I was the only girl in a class where they were learning how to use offset presses, which a bunch of you may have never even imagined or heard of. But I had the best time. I had illustrated and written a book of poetry, and it was just a blast. But I've always been a book lover since I was tiny. I mean, going to the library 3 times a week with my dad. And then here I grew up and this amazing thing happened. I was in a mastermind group and there was a retired FBI agent and he wrote books about his spaniels. And there was another person in the group who had done cartoons all during the Vietnam War, but he didn't publish them because his father was he was in the Air Force, but his father was a really high ranking person. And so Bill wanted help with publishing his book. And we went to this event. It was a conference called the Bay Area Independent Publishers conference. And we walked in the door and I went, oh my God, these are my people. And when I left, I was like floating. And I got back to my office and I looked at my client list and I realized every single one was also an author. And that's when the light bulb went on and I started shifting my business to focus on authors. So I think that's kind of bringing you up to date. And well, I became president of the Bay Area Independent Publishers. I'm no longer on that board, but now I'm the president of Redwood Writers, which is the largest chapter of the California Writers Club.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's me. I just keep having fun with authors. And I'm in the process of writing not one, but 2 books. Because I'm crazy.
And I love your moniker, the book marketing mentor, because you help guide people in how to do their own marketing, to understand the bones of how marketing works.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, Carolyn, you do marketing, so you really, really get this. But do you know that there are a lot of people, even though they're, CEOs, they are entrepreneurs or running their own business, then they write a book and they just kind of don't get it.
They forget everything they knew.
Well, exactly. They think this book is, because they put so much of themselves into the book. They look at it like this tiny little baby, which it is in a way, and that it's so precious. And they forget that they wrote the book to share what they know and make a bigger impact in the world. And if nobody knows about your book, not going to happen. And so that's where I come in, because your book is so, it's got so much value. And there are lots of ways people want to connect with you, your book, and your business. But if you keep it a big secret, well, you're losing out on opportunities like for us talking today. If you've got a book, you can speak about your book. You can create a course. You could potentially get your book in a college as part of someone else's course.
Mhm.
Oh my God. I seriously, if you are interested in learning more about how you can take that book and kind of explode it out of the box, that's what I do.
Yeah. I have a feeling that if I let you, you would go on for hours about all the things that you can do with your book.
Well,
It's
yeah.
not a bad thing.
No, 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 it isn't. And there's always more and other things you can do. And what's really a big thing to remember, if you've written a nonfiction book, the likelihood it's going to go bad like a carton of milk are very low. And in fact, you can make money from your book for as long as you want to because that content has value. And if I didn't know about your book today, but I find out about it next week or 2 years down the road, if that is the solution to my problem, I'm buying that book. I'm probably going to connect with you on, say, on LinkedIn, which is what you and I did. And so you keep building your community with your message and the solution.
And I think a lot of people are stuck in the past thinking a book has to have a launch and then that's it. That's all you do with it. Because back in the day, you had to justify the space on a bookshelf. And if that book didn't sell within the first month, it's out and nobody ever hears about it. But now we have the internet. Your book is always available. People can always find it. So we have to shift our mindset around that
Yeah.
launch or nothing kind of thing.
Well, I was talking with another person yesterday, and we were discussing this, and I said, well, you don't just have to have one launch. You can relaunch your book. Maybe it's the anniversary. Maybe you want to have another party. One of my friends, Patricia V. Davis, I met her when she had just written um, a book that started with a blog post that just blew up. And it's basically a guide of the things you need to know as a girl when you're a young girl, because she wanted to help them, that you wouldn't necessarily figure out until you're in your 30s or 40s or 50s. And so she had a launch for that. And then she started writing these really fun mysteries that always have a cooking component to them. And one of her launch parties, listen to that, one of the launch parties, she had a costume party. There was a band, there was chocolate, there was sparkling wine, and it was out of this world, so much fun. So, you can play around with it. And during COVID, people had online book clubs were blowing up. You can have a virtual party, you can have an in-person party. It's endless what you can do with it.
Yeah. So if we are overwhelmed by the idea of book marketing and have no idea where to start, I have a feeling that this one-page plan is the answer. More about that.
It can really help when so now we're in the world where we still have traditional publishers, although I really don't know why you would want to do that if you want to get your book out relatively soon. And then we've got hybrids and we've got indies. But the one thing that's in common with all of them, you need a book marketing plan. And when you've got a plan, then you can see what needs to happen, and you can see if you have any holes in what you're doing or how you're doing it or the assets that you need. And putting it down in front of you, it's kind of like, well, it's a big relief because suddenly all the stuff that's, chattering in your head isn't doing that anymore. It's now in front of you. It's on, you created a document, you could print it out, you could write it out. And now you can go, oh, I know how to do this, but I don't know how to do that. I can get help. And I
Mm.
think that's really critical. If you don't know what you don't know and you don't know who to ask for help, then you're stuck. But if now you say, well, maybe for instance, you don't know how to do an online media kit, but you know you need one. Now you know you need one because you've seen it on my plan. Then what would you do? Well, if you talk with me, I've got some great people like Lynette Hoy of Fire Talker PR who does online media kits and is an expert. And she'll tell you everything you need, and she can do it for you or she can do it with you.
Mm.
And that's what I love about this is suddenly, well, can I share my screen?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay, so let's
Give it a
see.
try. We'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
let me see how I'm doing this because I'm going, where am I
Okay,
going
that's not what
here?
I wanted. Again.
I am going to share. Well, we'll see what happens because neither one of us has done this before. Um, all right. So what I wanted to share. Oh, I
Green.
just
What?
want to.
Oh,
Oh, it's not letting me. Oh, here's what I want. This is the piece I want to share, but I'm not sure how to just do
why do
that.
we have so many things on top of it?
I know. How do I just want to share the book plan is under here, but it's not letting me bring that forward.
Oh
Hmm.
boy.
Well, let me see. Let me
Our
stop
technical
that.
troubles continue.
Yeah, I'm going to not do. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. But you'll be able to get this when we're done. But on my plan, I have one of the things I am looking at. I help people who published and now want to reboot their book.
Mm.
So if you know, I'm going to say these are the critical numbers that you need to know.
Okay.
How many books have you already sold? And if you have it in multiple formats, how many in each format? How many reviews do you have? Because there's a magic number that triggers algorithms that will get your book seen
Oh,
on
really?
some of the platforms. Yep.
Magic, you say?
Yep. And how many endorsements do you have? You know, when you self-publish, you have a little bit more latitude because maybe you now got that dream endorsement that you didn't have when you first published it, and now you can put it on the cover, upload it, and you're ready to roll.
Yeah,
And
edit it
the
well.
last, yeah, and it's pretty simple to do. But here's another one. Do you have any awards? Do you have those on the book cover?
Mm.
And you know, that kind of generates more interest when people see, oop, there's an award on there. Oh, there's an award on there. I mean, one of my clients kept winning awards. And so we kept having to go, okay, where are we going to put those on the cover? Because
Why do you keep winning things?
exactly. So you have things to pay attention to. So think about it. How many books have you sold? How many reviews do you have? How many endorsements and any awards? And I've got a really easy way for people to get more reviews. Would you like to know the secret?
Oh, yes. Yes, I
Okay.
would.
Okay. Well, it's kind of simple in a way. You can ask for them, and you can ask for them right inside your book and on your website and anywhere else you are sharing that you have this book. You can make it fun. You can gamify it. You can do all kinds of things. But if you never ask for reviews, well, you and I both know this. We read books all the time. And sometimes I'll go and do a review, and probably you do too. And other times you don't. But if you are a nonfiction author, you even have more opportunities to do this. You could put it on your LinkedIn profile. You could put it in your newsletter. And I'm not talking about doing it once. I'm talking about you do this repeatedly because you're really trying to get, I know I'm going to say this number and you're going to go, what? Okay. If you have 100 reviews on Amazon, then your book will start showing up in the, oh, people bought this book and they'll probably like your book too.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, there's one other secret about this. If you go and look at the reviews of other books that are similar to yours, you can start researching who is a top reviewer and reach out to them and say, oh, I saw that you read, oh, say, I know, God, I've got so many books on my shelf right now. Okay, one of my friends wrote a book and it's called Time Alchemy. And Ulrika Brattenmark is a project manager with a spiritual side to her. And it's not about managing your time, it's really about looking at what you want to have done. So she's on LinkedIn, she's all over the place. And she now could look at people who, so if I also have a book that's on time management, I could actually reach out to Ulrika and say, Ulrika, would you be interested in reading my book and potentially giving me an honest review? You don't say, give me a good review. You say, here's where to do it. Here's where to post it. And people are more inclined to do that if you build your relationships with them and they feel respected, they feel honored. So, it's about your community. It's always about your community. Who knows, likes, and trusts you?
Very nice.
Yeah.
I think a pitfall that happens to people, especially if they go with the self-publishing route and they don't necessarily know what companies to trust. And I think this is the same, back in 2000, I self-published a book, and that was even before KDP, that was before
Oh,
Kindle. So like
yeah.
this.
And you
Now,
still are living here, proof that you made it through all of that, because it was agony. It was agony to self-publish back then.
it was. And
Yeah.
you had to depend on other people to do things that now you can do yourself, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But they were so pushy with these marketing packages, and it would be like,
They're
pay us
terrible.
$7,000 to write a press release that doesn't go anywhere. Like
Mm-hmm.
terrible marketing. And I worry
Oh
that
my God.
people fall victim to that still, where they're like, I don't know how to market my book. So this publisher or this company says, here's a marketing package. So I'm just going to say yes to that. Do you think that's happening?
Unfortunately, it is, and it showed up. It showed up in one of the networking meetings I was at last week. There were
Oh,
three
no.
people. There were three people who said, "Oh, I went with." I'm not going to name the names because it's just really awful. But there are some predatory companies out there that will say, give me this amount of money and we'll do, we'll get your book out there. We'll do press releases, but they're sending press releases, doing no follow-up. They're not targeting your market. And I'm a real fan. I'm going to be very honest about this. I'm a fan of organic first, and then looking at if something's going well, whether it's doing paid advertising or, paying someone like Lynette, who is worth every penny and she knows what she's doing. But before doing that, you need to do some things. And when I say you, it might be you and a trained virtual assistant who knows about book marketing. I'm not just talking about just pick somebody and say, oh, here,
Yeah,
go
I
do.
think you need to have the network and the connections to be able to ask for referrals and get the right people. Knowing people like you or I
Mm-hmm.
can really help with that.
Yeah.
And back in the day, we used to tell people you can tell it's a scam because they will ask you for money. And publishers publish books and then they get the money from the sales. But that has shifted as well, especially with
Mhm.
hybrid publishers and people who contribute to multi-author books, where
Yes.
you can pay to participate and get all those benefits of being an author. So
Mhm.
it's even harder now to tell people how to spot a scam.
Well, I always look if I'm curious about a product or service, I go and look at what are they promising, who's worked with them, what results did they get?
Mm.
And it scares me because some of those companies that are not reputable have really good marketing copy, but they don't have what I feel is the heart and soul of, getting your message out. If if you are a subject matter expert, whether it is time management or how to, well, my friend Jan Wallen wrote a book called How to Raise Your Fees Without Losing Your Clients.
Very good
So
topic.
exactly. So she could talk to entrepreneurs from now till, the cows come home, and that would be appropriate. But she can also talk to accountants and financial planners and, see
Mhm.
where I'm going. You can look at not just your initial market, but who could be a partner or a collaborator. Maybe there's an association that would benefit from your book. And
Mhm.
if you do those kinds of activities, if you are putting out content, you can take things from your book, little pieces of your book, and share them and get people, you know, okay, what I think they call it the Costco effect.
The loss leader.
Well, not the loss leader. Have you ever purchased something because you sampled it?
Probably.
I know I have. That's why there's the look inside feature
Mm.
on all of the booksellers who are online. They let you see part of that book. If when I before I pick a book through Audible or through any other audio format, I listen to it because I might like what's going to be there, but if I don't like the narrator, I'm not
Mm.
listening to it.
Yeah.
And the sample, the I this is a very popular thing to do. There, you could give away a chapter of your book.
That is, in fact, exactly what I do. I set up book funnels to give away a chapter of your book, to lead it towards your other programs, help people get to know you, and so that you
Oh,
get that email address instead of Amazon.
you just nailed it. And only now are traditional publishers seeing the value of, oh, we don't know who bought that, but if we do this, we can get emails. I mean, you know about this. I know you do. Brandon Sanderson, who is a fantasy writer,
That man is
he
amazing.
raised 50 million dollars in his Kickstarter campaign for all of the books he's going to write and publish in 2023. And he did that in a very short time. Now, he had a massive mailing list, but your mailing list is the key to the money.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Selling direct is starting to happen more often too. Now it is possible for authors to sell directly from their website. And I'm talking every format.
And then you get the
Every format.
profit. You're not
And you get to
splitting the
keep more of the
profit.
dollars. You
Yeah.
get to keep more of the dollars. But of course, as you and I both know, if you don't have a presence and people don't know about you, they're not going to come to your website to buy your book. So you still want to be on those other platforms, but over time, you want to start getting people to love you, follow you, be on your email list. And then you say, oh, I have a new book coming out. And for the first month, you can buy it directly from me. And here's the link. Boom. Could you imagine? And so now now the traditional publishers are noticing this because they,
They
they're
are
like
always
a
a bit
cruise ship.
slow.
I know they're like a cruise ship that takes, you're trying to move the thing and it's like, and we're little power boats, and we can just boop, we can try
I'm telling
something.
you, when KDP came out, and I
Yeah,
was publishing fiction books at that time,
yeah,
and it was wild because everybody was trying different things and reporting back, like what's working, what's not, doing, you could turn on a dime and just try something new. It was lots of fun, totally wild.
oh, it is. Well, I
But I
think
was
it's
thinking
still fun.
about when you said giving talks
Yeah.
and giving speeches, that's such a great start for your
Mhm.
funnel because the topic of your book is probably connected to the topic of your speech. So you give the speech and then you say, would you like a sample of my book? Have a QR code back to your
Oh,
website. It's
yep.
so beautiful. I love funnels.
Oh, it is. And you mentioned book funnel, which I think is brilliant because you can do giveaways, you can have, you can give people codes, you can do all kinds of stuff. So, the closed mindset about book marketing, you and I are both going, no, we're going to make it a party. We're going to have a book party. We're going to do all these, we can try all these things
Mhm.
without spending a lot of money or even a little money. And if it works, then you can, it's a minimum viable product. You start here, you try something, you do a webinar and maybe you get crickets, but maybe you do a webinar and you get your audience excited, and then you can do it again and you find out what works, and that's the thing.
Mhm.
It's constantly changing, and just when you think you know everything about whatever platform you're on, they will change it because it's their platform. The only time you have control of stuff is when you own the real estate, and that's your website and your email list. So
Oh,
those
yes.
are your precious centers, and everything goes out from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I promise book marketing can be fun.
If it's not fun, why are you doing it? You know,
Mhm.
I came to it was like a light bulb moment too. I said, "Oh, what do I have on my plate right now that I every time I go to do it, I want to go clean the refrigerator or my closet or something else. I don't want to
Uh,
do it." And the only marketing that works is the marketing that you do, not the marketing you imagine you should be doing, but the stuff you do consistently has more power than oh, but if only no, it's not that. Stuff can go in the parking lot. And one of my secrets is I will help you decide. I will help you
mhm.
prioritize and look at what's real, what's imagined, and what you should just say, that was an idea that I had, and it's time for it to go, and clean out the clutter.
Yes, that is a great service. And I also appreciate that you and I are also on the same page with organic versus paid. I always tell people start with organic, prove your product, prove your offer with organic before you spend a lot of money in ads.
Oh my gosh, I know. I mean, because let's face it, Amazon is not in the business of helping authors. They provide a service, they are a platform. And if they can get more money from you, they will. All of the social platforms offer, oh, would you like to boost this? Would you like to be a blah, blah, blah? Well, you know what? If nobody's looking at you, why are you going to spend money there until you start getting people, jumping at the opportunity to connect with you? And you can do it. I know you can.
Especially with the one-page book marketing plan.
Oh
Is
my
that
gosh.
something that we can download from your website, or is that a paid product?
Well, the one page plan you can download, and it will be up a little bit later today because it's just
We'll get the
I
link.
just reconfigured it a little bit. But if you go to bookmarketingmentor.com/roadmap, it'll be up there for you and you can download it. And there is a paid version, but start with this one. And you can also, after you do this, you can meet with me for a half an hour, no charge. And it is a collaboration exploration call. And that is at bookbuzzaudit.com. And I highly recommend you all take advantage of that so we can meet and I can find out who you are. You can see a little bit more about me and we'll see if we like each other and maybe we want to work together. I think it'd be a blast.
And bring your one page with you so you can show Judy where your gaps are and she can see what you need to fill in.
Oh gosh, yeah. And you know what? Everybody's got holes in their marketing plan. Even me. Even me, I'm going to be so transparent with you. So you all know this. I'm in the process of rebranding myself using my name, Judy M. Baker. Now, the book marketing mentor site isn't going to go down or anything, but I am going to be replicating almost all of it on my new site. And you know what? Cobbler's children. I work on it, but I'm not making myself nuts. I'm going, okay, I can do this piece today. Yay. Gold star on my calendar. That's how I like to work, not making it so big that I can't do anything. I break things down into very small pieces. And that's what I'll do if we work together.
Oh, I love that. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will wrap up, but do you have any parting thoughts that you would like to leave the audience with?
Okay, here's a big one that you and I know, but a lot of other people don't. Over 2 million new books come onto the market every year, and the number's growing. That is an astounding number. So how are you going to make your book stand out? That's the thing to be thinking about.
That is an excellent question to leave us with.
Absolutely.
Don't be discouraged, but think a little bit about how you're going to stand out.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much for making this work and finding a time because I have been so eager to hear all about what you do. And this is.
Well, I appreciate it. And oh yeah, we should tell people what really happened. I misread the time on one of them, on one of our communications. I'm on the West Coast and Carolyn's on the East Coast. And so I said, oh yeah, that'll work. And then no, it doesn't.
The day before you were like, wait a minute, this says noon Eastern.
Seriously, I totally missed it. And I felt like an idiot.
This time zone thing is so challenging, like coordinating that. Like you were saying, like I have a calendar system that does it automatically, but I hadn't started using it for my podcast scheduling. Now I'm using it. So hopefully things get smoother.
Yeah. But it's little things like that can just stop you dead in your tracks. And almost every one of the clients I've worked with, they're, like they're sailing along and they're doing stuff. And then they go to do that one thing and it's not working. What do I do now? Yeah. Well, I'm really good at getting you off the ledge. And you know why? Because if it was happening to me, I'd probably be on the ledge. But when you have a mentor, that means I'm going to support you and guide you and listen to what's going on, and we'll figure it out.
Absolutely. You have someone in your corner.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carolyn. You have been a charming and very fun host.
Oh, thank you. All right, we will talk soon.
Okay, my dear. Thank you.